All right, guys, so today I'm with one of my clients who helps people scale their reselling from 2 to 3K a month up to 10K a month. Ready to do this content audit today, TJ?
Yes, bro.
So tell me, how is your content going for you right now? What are you doing? How's it working?
Before I started working firsthand, right? My content, I was just doing like brain raw, like aura edits and stuff like that. And at the time, I wasn't really getting any attraction. Then I started like pivoting over to the more value-based content. I was doing that, it was working, but then after I just went back to aura edits because I don't know why.
You know, like copying what everyone else is doing in the market, you know, you naturally inclined to doing aura edits, but that kind of content, it's never going to give you the audience that you need, right? You're going to keep getting low quality, just people who can't afford your services. So if we go on your content right now, like in the past, you know, we had a lot of these sort of like, you know, typical edits, etc. We're not giving people enough of a reason to listen to you. We're just doing like a general flex here. This isn't gonna give people the proof that is required to show that you are the authority in the reselling space. So what are most of your competitors doing right now?
So all of my competitors are all copying each other, and what they're doing right now is aura edits and then selling supplies. That's what everyone is doing right now.
And so when we come and look at your actual results from the conversations we've had, you said that you did 35K in 30 days at 18, but that was from vendor links. And actual like reselling, you did 25K in a month and then also 5.2K in a day. Right? With actual reselling, So most people in your industry, they're giving vendor links, right? And a vendor link is essentially like a supplier, right?
Access to a supplier that you can use to buy products from.
How valuable are these suppliers? So how much of an impact will that make having access?
It makes a big difference because if you have obviously a good supplier, you're getting it for a cheaper price, you're getting like faster shipping, obviously it's going to be effective for your business, but you need to have a supplier, like genuinely, otherwise you're just going to be buying from people like on TikTok or something.
You're going to be reselling their reselling?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you do need a supplier. It's very important.
Okay, sure. So, and how much of the skill set of reselling is being missed out by just focusing on the supplier?
Like 95%.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you making content on that 95%? Like how specific is what you're teaching?
It's specific, but it's not specific enough because I feel like if I also go into the in depth, I'm just giving my course away.
Don't be scared of doing that because people are not going to pay you for the information. They're going to pay you for the implementation. Right? That's what they're really paying you for. Some other guy in reselling can take your strategy, but doesn't mean that they can implement it. Right? It's not the same thing. So I would first break that belief and be comfortable giving away information because information is not going to make you broke. You explaining how things work is not going to take away money from you. It's only going to show that you're credible, okay? Because they're going to look at your free information, right? If they look at your free information and they realize how good it is, they're going to think your paid information is amazing. But if your free information is bad, they're going to think your paid information is also bad, right? So you need to give good information, right? Now, when it comes to like the pillars of content, right? There are three main pillars, right? We have authenticity, we have growth and viral base, and then we have value. Okay, let's go through each pillar one by one. So when it comes to authenticity, this is content that is really going to nurture your current audience and going to make you feel like a well-rounded, holistic person. So the first video that tackles that is the My Story video, and you filmed that recently. How's that all looking?
Yeah, so the My Story video was quite good. I went to like a nice workstation in Battersea. I had the mic, I had everything basically sorted for the video.
Just for some context on that video, that is a piece of content where, you go through your entire story of how you've got to where you are so far. And it's meant to be like a pinned reel on your Instagram. So for anyone who doesn't know who you are, they click that and now they have a really good understanding of who you are. That's the first thing. Secondly, how do we spin off from this? Well, there are multiple topics that we can discuss that people can latch onto because we want to tell stories that people can also relate to in a powerful way. So topics you can discuss are, look, I can tell you're at the gym, right? Talk about health and gym, relationships, school and college, family, starting your journey into doing entrepreneurship, and misconceptions of reselling with examples. What are some common misbeliefs people have and that you fell for as well?
Firstly, you can make money with vintage reselling. You can't make real money with vintage reselling. Another misconception is people think that suppliers is what gets you rich, which is not true. And people think going to car boot sales, buying products there for a really cheap price and reselling it on Vinted can make you money. Because what most people do, they do Vinted reselling, right? Now people get their suppliers, like get their items from either car boot sales or they get it from like a rep from a Chinese supplier. But if you're getting a rep selling on Vinted, your account's going to get banned off rip. So people go to car boot sales, they can see like buy old Ralph Lauren pieces and resell them. But if we were selling old Ralph Lauren pieces, you're making like £10 profit. Like you're not making money with it into the reselling, essentially. That you can't.
So I think some very low hanging fruit content is debunking this a bit heavier. I know you already have one video on your channel where you have done that. Let's have a quick look at that. It was over here.
I'm going to debunk these stupid beliefs that people have about reselling. People think you can't make money in reselling. The people that aren't making any bread are selling on fucking Vinted. No one makes money selling on Vinted. I'm telling you that right now. You're not going to find anybody making...
Okay, you've told me that people don't make money on Vinted. Why? Stop telling me and tell me why. Like, I hear you. I hear the point. Now explain the point. You don't need to say the point 5 times, all right? You said it once. You got the fucking take glasses on. That's enough, all right? Let's just get to the point. Let's say, explain to me why is it dead?
Money like me selling on Vinted. It's so simple to make money in reselling. You can even look at my students right here, right now, right? One of my students was able...
You haven't told me anything yet. You're not explaining, bro. You're just saying, Vinted shit, I'm better than Vinted, my students are better than Vinted. Like, teach me something. You have to give before you can get. It feels like you're trying to get right now. You have to give out information. You have to give and give and give before you ask to have something in return, right? You want to give information out that is so helpful and so good that the people who watch it feel indebted to you. They're like, wow, I've learned so much from TJ that I really want to learn more about what he actually sells because he's helped me so much already with his free content, right? So don't be afraid by giving out helpful information in the free content, right? That is super important. So please do that more. All right. I remember when we were talking about like personable stories, you talked about how, right, you were in maths when you were 16 and you just left the class because you felt like it and you went to the toilets and you checked that you made £300 that day.
Yeah. So basically how that story went, guys, is like I was in maths. I'm like 16, right? I'm just chilling in maths. So I asked my teacher to go to the toilet. She says no. But like back then in school, I just done whatever I want. I just got up and left, went to the toilet. And I was just scrolling on TikTok, just chilling. Like going to Shopify, I'm like, I might as well just go to Shopify and just to see what goes on. Like I just want to see because I had a Shopify store up. That was like my second store. I wasn't taking anything seriously. Check. £300 in sales in one day. Gassed. At the time, bro, I'm not making any money like that. And plus, I was even more gassed because I made £300 whilst I was just at school, just chilling. So I went back to the lesson and then the teacher was just explaining some algebra stuff. I just completely blanked it. Didn't know what he was talking about.
You were making the real numbers.
I was making more money than him at the time.
Yeah.
In that specific hour, he was probably making £10 an hour.
And have we made a story on this video on this topic? Okay.
No.
There must be some other stories. What other stories have you got from school, from whatever? Have any girls ever stumbled across how much you're making?
I've never told girls anything.
Okay. You keep it low key.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's just been times where I've just left and like this is like year 12. I went into school and because like I failed maths, right? So I had to redo maths and the first lesson was maths. So I go into school. The first thing the teacher tells me to do is get upstairs right now. You have maths. So I literally just left. I went home. I just went home and I started just researching how to make money online.
Was that during first year?
This was I was doing BTEC. So this was year 12, right? So in year 12, I was like, nah, I'm not having that. Teacher told me get upstairs and do maths. Bro, I just went home off rip and went back to my laptop and started searching. I still have it to this day. I have like 3 books of just me like writing down notes and just like different things.
You should film a little bit of those notebooks.
Yeah,
you should get it. You should get it out. Yeah,
I have videos of like me at home saying I want to do this and that, like to the camera when I was poor. And all of that tough stuff.
When you were poor.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think there can be some really easy stories around there, but also don't feel like you have to make them always about business. They can be outside of that, right? I know you also were really into football, right?
Yeah.
Training professionally.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Talk about that. This whole section of my story content, this is all meant to add layers to you, right? This is not meant to sell everyone how good you are reselling. That is other content later. This right now is selling people on TJ, right? Befriending your audience, like actually befriend your audience, like tell them stories that they can latch onto, right? So talks about football. What position do you play?
Which play?
Right, talk about that's a hard position that you fucking pick. Right, bang in the middle.
Yeah.
Right, that is intense.
Yeah.
Talk about that. You're surveying the whole pitch. The ball's coming this way, the ball's coming that way. You're having to see where your team are, mark up people. Like, bro, that's a hella intense position.
Yeah, it's intense.
Talk about that. People, that's so interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because remember, a lot of people that watch you, they're gonna be like you, bro.
Yeah.
Right. Probably a lot of them are self-disciplined. Probably go gym. They play sports. They want to make money. They can relate to you more as a whole person, not just this is just some kid doing reselling. You know. So I think definitely add those those layers. So you had football, you had the stories of school. What other stuff have we got here that we can talk about?
I don't know. I need to think.
Fine. So I'm thinking I'll probably like come up with some prompts that people can use. So you can call upon these stories. Okay. So here's an easy one. Like, tell me about the day where you made the most profit in one day.
And this was actually this year. I was about to go to Portugal. And then I'm just chilling, right? And then I just check my phone. And before that, I was doing like, I just done a 1K day, 2K day, 3K day. I was already kind of gassed. I checked my phone to this time. I'm seeing 5.2K day. I'm like, bro, it can't be serious. No, at first, actually, it was like a 1K day before 12. So I already knew I was going to scale. Then at like 4 p.m., 3K day. And then I checked at like 11. So I left my phone. I was like, no, you know what? Let me check out at the end of the day. I checked my laptop and then I'm just seeing like Shopify notifications on the side of like the notification. And so I checked my actual phone, bro, 5.2K day. I was gassed.
So
I
for
went to
example,
Portugal, then I went to Dubai after.
so like a story like that, what's really important, you've left it quite undetailed.
Yeah.
You need to really like think about the specifics on how you were feeling, right? So that story is interesting, but you haven't told it in an interesting way.
Yeah.
You've just said, oh, I checked in the morning, it was at 1K, then it was at 3K, it was at 5K. Like just okay, this happened, and this happened, and this happened. There's no stakes, there's no level of tension. We need some tension. We need to add some problems in here, right? Like you can even exaggerate slightly. You could even do some shit like, I was looking to buy X when I went to Portugal, went to Dubai. So I was hoping that on this day I made the money.
Actually, you know what? Funny enough, like before I even made that 5K day, I already paid 5K to get my Dubai business set up in Dubai. So I was down 5K and I just made
On
it
that
back.
day?
It was like a few days before that.
Oh,
So I already made it back like that week, like in like 2-3 days already. So
There you go.
Yeah.
Right. So I think there are plenty of stories here. And then I'm sure you guys talk about the day where you lost most money as well.
bro, there's been days I've been made so much. There's been like months I made so much. I just lost everything.
You need to talk about those videos.
Back to zero.
That makes you feel so real.
Yeah.
Talk about the blow days.
Yeah.
Because everyone else is unwilling to talk about that. This is going to naturally separate you in the market a lot. So as well as talk about some of your worst days in the business and go into detail.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. About that.
Do that. That's super good. That makes you feel like a real person and you're not scared of showing your L's.
Yeah.
You know, because most people are too scared to show their L's.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that covers authenticity quite well. When it comes to your value base, we talked a little bit about this already. Okay. Now we want you to outcompete this reselling market, right? When it comes to selling your offer, etc. You said that everyone else sells vendor links, right? Everyone. And you want to sell how to actually do reselling.
Yeah.
Why do you think no one else has taught that?
But no one actually resells. What most people do nowadays is they get an S-Class, split it 5 man, and then they just do a bit of content, post it, and sell the supplies. They don't actually resell. They know nothing about reselling. That's what I'm doing.
And you do.
I know how to resell, but don't associate.
Right. So you have specific knowledge here. You need to make content about the specific knowledge. Okay, teach me something that I don't know about reselling. That is a big game changer.
Okay, so let's say, for example, firstly, there's groups out there, right? There's bulk buying groups out there which require proof of funds. And in those bulk buying groups, you can list any single thing you have and you're going to get a guaranteed sale. Like it's genuinely...
What do you mean by bulk buying?
So this is like B2B, right? So business to business. So let's say I'm a business, I'm a reseller, you're a reseller, and you put in a group, you have 10 pairs of Air Forces. Bulk buying is somebody who will be able to cash out all of your stock in bulk, right? And what most people don't have access to is these groups. No one has access to these groups because most of these groups will be a requirement of like £10,000 minimum proof of funds, like to show them. And in these groups, you can post all of your stock and somebody is bound to buy it that month at least. Like people are just ready to just cash out on your stock.
Interesting.
And no one really knows about that. And like, there's not many people in the group that might be like,
so immediately you can just sell your stock.
Literally, like obviously it's not a thing where it's 100% guaranteed, obviously, but if you have good stock then and people want to buy it and it's good quality and it's good price, people will buy it because these are retailers that own actual stores. So the retailers that own stores
these resellers actually sell retail as well.
Yeah, they sell retail or they might sell to somebody sells retail.
Right.
To get what I mean. So there's these groups where you have to either pay to get in or show proof of funds. So I've been in these groups for ages and there's still groups now that I can't even get into because it's like 500k requirement.
So here's a video idea that you could do. So why don't you make a Maya board breakdown talking about the supply chain of goods to market? So begin with like the actual supply chain, right, where it's produced, and then the different parts it can go. Sometimes it can go straight to retail, and then people sell it, and then they buy that and they resell that. Sometimes it goes through these like suppliers in between, right? These groups. Maybe it filters through the groups, and it filters into X, and then so that's a very simple video you could do. With something that's actually
like a beginner supplier.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
this is some very good content you could make. That's actually interesting. Yeah, so let's add that in. So let's some ideas here. Discuss reselling tiered groups and the supply chain.
I just gave you guys source because people actually don't know about that.
Supply chain, bro, you're gonna turn this into a great reel.
Yeah.
That'll be a great reel. And the supply chain evolution from creation to being sold. When they're literally produced at the manufacturer, and then how that process looks.
Yeah.
And where these groups come into play, etc. So that's pretty interesting. What other points are there?
If you want to know exactly how to automate your reselling business, it's a whole back-end system that you need to have, and people still to this day don't do it.
Well, what's the back end? What do you run it on?
So you use Shopify,
Okay.
but like in terms like if you want to genuinely automate your whole business, you need to know exactly where you can hire the right VAs first, and you also need to have a very trusted supplier that can log into your account and ship out all the orders. So what most people do nowadays is if they're selling the actual stock, or they're applying to all of their customer service emails themselves, they're shipping out all the products themselves, they're making all the content themselves. You can hire a VA to post your content. You can hire a VA to reply to all of your customer emails, and you can also get your supplier inside the Shopify store. So when you're getting sales at the end of, for example, let's say end of each week, your supplier will take everyone's details and ship out the product that they bought. So everything's completely automated for you. That's what I was doing when I was at my peak scale.
So here's a video idea from that, right? So I made 5K in a day with legit reselling at a 50% margin. And here are the exact systems you can steal to do this yourself.
Yeah.
Then you do a little walkthrough. Get the VAs, where to find them, what they post, what they automate. This is real value. This is real information.
No one actually knows stuff like that apart from actual e-com guys.
Right. So this is the kind of stuff you share. And don't think that people are going to watch it and be able to do it. Of course not, right? So you might as well just tell them. Because bro, what's going to happen is someone else in your industry will eventually say this and they get all the credit.
Yeah.
So you want to be first and take the credit for that.
Well, one thing happened was I was the first person to talk about like B2B selling and B2C selling. And then I posted it on TikTok. That one guy, he actually blocked me. He literally stole my whole video and posted it, and he went viral and I didn't. It's
fine,
actually ridiculous.
You're going to get it right. You're going to get it right. Don't worry. Like, you've got real sources.
Yeah.
So it's only a matter of time that people see this. I mean, like, you already have potential buyers in your audience already, right?
Yeah.
Bro, if you think about this content, how would they react when they see this kind of content?
They're going to think they are dumb as fuck. They don't know.
And they're going to want your knowledge.
They're going to pay me.
Exactly. There you go, right?
Exactly.
This is nurturing. This is the kind of content we need to make.
Yeah.
So when it comes to value, these are all really good ideas. I want you to just take what we've done today and I want you to continue ideating.
Yeah.
Right? Keep thinking, what other source can I give out? And just give it. Don't be scared. Just give it. Like you saw Sube's 10-hour guide. He just gives it out.
No,
You know what I'm saying? Just give it out. Bro, make a 2-hour long reselling guide.
should I?
Yes.
Might have to, bro.
And then you can just throw in all your coaching calls in that.
Oh, yeah, true.
There you go.
Okay, free training.
Exactly. I can throw this into a 10-hour content guide. And it's still helpful. This isn't like bullshit. There's a lot of helpful stuff here. Okay, sweet. That will cover the value based. And then give away any supplies you think that you can help, like genuinely make content that helps your audience.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when it comes to now, case study breakdown, super important. So ideally you meet up with students in real life so you can film something like this. This is going to scale their actual like reselling brand. Do a breakdown discussing what content needs to be made for their brand, what is next, etc. And then also, if you can't meet up with them, then you can always do it online, worst case scenario. And then also have like a genuine conversation with your students. Like don't always make it just about the content. Make it a little bit about their general story as a whole. So when we do like a testimonial eventually, right, it's not going to be as formal as this. It'll be a bit more relaxed and talking about like the whole process as a whole.
Yeah.
But yeah, so do that as a YouTube video as well.
Okay.
That's a super easy YouTube video. Throw that as a YouTube video, not difficult. And then from there, just continue building that out. You can clip that for your content, etc. So I think if you combine the story times, case study breakdowns like that, and then value with proof of value, this is going to really nurture your existing audience right now. And then if you'd like the best performers, run it as an ad.
Yeah.
Run it as ads on top.
Because I was running ads before. I was running ads at £50 a day, and then I literally got 0 sales.
This is quite common, bro, because the content like this wasn't good.
Yeah, it's true.
Right. So I think if we combine this all together, you're going to have a very strong reselling content offer here. And your actual strategy now is in place. You know what needs to be made. And now it's just a matter of execution. So you give me a recap, bro. What are you going to do next now?
Okay, so from now, so like obviously before I was just posting whatever, right? But now that I've got like an actual strategy and actually things I need to do, what I'm going to do now is I'm literally just going to like obviously provide way more value to my audience.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to like speak more about my stories. I don't speak about my stories at all.
Yeah.
So I just realized that this like opened my eyes, because what most people see when they come to my page is just lifestyle. But like they haven't seen me speak in ages. And if I actually speak about stuff that I've experienced, people are going to like trust me way more.
Exactly. That's what we need to do. Yeah. We need to make them sold on you, not just what you do, but also you as a person, your values, your morals, your story, stories, your experience,
Yeah.
and then also your specific knowledge on why you're actually so good at what you do.
Yeah.
Because you are good at what you do. This doesn't work if you're a scammer.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't work. If you're not actually good at what you do,
Yeah.
focusing on your content is stupid, because before you do content, you need to fulfill. You need to make sure you can actually fulfill and teach your students. So as long as you're confident doing that, you will be fine. Now it's just about getting that content out there, bringing in more leads and quality leads, qualified leads. So have you got any other questions for me, bro?
No, really, nah.
Cool. All right. We have that plan cut out. Let's get executing and let's run it up, bro.
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's do it.
Thank you, bro.
No worries, man. No worries.